How you doing? This is Zach Attack, Prospect Studios, Bandana Brothers. New Blue Society for people who know. Bad Pachyderm. Currently working on a novel called Escaping the Despondent Sea. True story about a lot of things. But lesson today, a tip on rebuilding. Businesses fail, families break away, break apart, tragedy happens, houses burn down, but it doesn't mean that life has to stop. It might seem like it has, but it doesn't. Your office gets destroyed, there's no way to keep track of your life and manage your affairs. Your life is a business. You misappropriate your time and your finances, and your business will not flourish. One of the tips today is filing and journaling. It's nice to keep a journal, organize your thoughts, especially if you're writing a book, for instance, or But what I'm doing is I usually save all my receipts a month at a time, and since I roll my own coffin nails, I use the empty tobacco bags for receipt boxes. So I put all the receipts in there per the month. Then as the week goes on, I'll separate them into piles, and I'll put paper clips on them and ascertain, okay, food, gas, consumables, tool receipts, and so you keep your numbers straight, keep your budget on check. Your receipts are really all you need. Don't have anxiety about not being able to make your journal entries or not having the resources to be able to maintain your office. You have to be resourceful and use the available resources that you have, and learning to recognize those resources is a very, very important thing. Once you learn to recognize the resources, you are the master of your own universe, and that's a good thing. I grew up poor, and I never had much, so I had to learn to get what I needed with my own mind. What I've got here is I've got this gambler bag, and I've just taken some masking tape, and I made a writing surface on there. And what you do is you put a note on there, okay, things you're concerned about. Like for me, my stories that I'm writing, different stories. It doesn't matter. When you look at the receipt, you'll see the items on there, and it has a date. So your journal's already written. All you got to do is go through your receipts, and then sit down and write. Once you get a chance to sit down, you go through your receipts and you organize everything back out onto paper, so you can see it, and then build on it. So your receipts are important. Now, if you I don't like to buy anything. I really don't like to buy anything. I try to pretend like I'm absolutely broke. That way, I have a little bit of money to do something when I actually need to do it, or when I'm forced to do something unexpectedly. The water heater blows up, for instance. Or you get arrested and you need bail money. Having a little bit of money in your pocket is important. So, the details are in the trails. That's it. When you do get a chance to come up for air and you're drowning in the ocean of life, keep receipts. Anything can be a receipt, a trigger. Anything. Business cards. You have somebody's business card. You're never going to do business with them, but when you pull up the card, boom, you can tell a whole story. It's like a painting. It's you have to be able to. So collect an item, piece of paper. If there's not a business card, just scratch out something on a piece of paper, or write it on your hand and then write it somewhere later, anything, and then put that little piece of paper in with your receipts. Business cards work great because you can write on the back of the business cards, a little note on there, a trigger word. It's all about trigger words. Trigger words are important. When you're writing stories or you're working on novels, a notepad by the sink when you're washing dishes is the key. You put a trigger word on there as you're thinking. You might not have a chance to sit down and write it out, and you might feel like the thought is lost, and it might have been a really important thought, but if you write enough key words down, you've got the whole thing already written, and it's written in your head. And which takes me to a very, very important point. When our children see us doing these things, washing dishes, cooking, they learn from us. When our children see us journaling, or even if they don't see us journaling, we need to make it a point to say, okay, I need a couple of minutes to write in my journal. And then, you give them a very short reason why, because, most kids stop paying attention after 12 or 15 words. So, which takes me to another very important point. If you are lucky enough to have a child, don't talk gibberish to the baby. Use the correctly pronounced and announced words. Use complete sentences. Your children learn from the very moment they're born. And if all you say is goo goo gaga for 2 years, you just retarded the kid. Teach the kid real words. And explain things calmly. A child is just like a plant. It's just like an orchid in your beautiful orchid garden that you're so proud of that you have to self-pollinate. Pollinate yourself. So we really have to put care into it. And just stop and take a breath before we react to a child. That is very, very important. And, if we do get control of our youth, we can start planting the seeds in society that will associate and benefit the ones around them. And slowly but surely, we will be able to reverse some of the things that we're disappointed with. It starts with the children. And that means that we have to stop and focus on that. And a good bayonet from the World Wars comes in handy too. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Zach, Prospect Studios, Bandana Bro on Twitter. Come see me. You might find something special.